Hello. As the Normans expanded into Sicily and parts of what is now the Italian mainland in the 11th century, they developed the use of the cavalry charge as a battle tactic, both for psychological and physical impact, outflanking enemy lines and disrupting opposing formations. Anglo-Saxon warriors rode to battle but fought on foot, as depicted in the Bayeux tapestry, in which Harold's forces are shown forming a shield wall to face the Norman cavalry charge. Cavalry tactics had been employed in England by Earl Ralph of Hereford in 1055 against the forces of Griffith ap Llywelyn, King of Wales, and his ally Alfgar, the outlawed Earl of East Anglia. Ralph, younger son of the Norman Count of Valois and a daughter of Ethelred II, spent his early years in northern France before accompanying Edward the Confessor to England. He would have been familiar with the cavalry charge and would undoubtedly have been joined in England by some of his Norman retainers. On this occasion, the tactic proved unsuccessful. Ralph and his forces were routed and the city of Hereford was sacked. The Bayeux tapestry, technically an embroidery, a 70-metre roll of linen telling of the events from 1064 to 1066 leading up to the Battle of Hastings, is an exceptional historical source. The action takes place in a broad central zone containing 58 scenes summarised in tituli, mostly in medieval Latin. The borders include agricultural activities featuring horses, and in an early scene Harold Godwinson is shown riding, setting off for Bosom, from where he will set sail for Normandy, a hawk on his arm and accompanied by his hounds. As the final showdown approaches, the horses of Duke William's elite shock force are shown on board the invasion fleet, and in a later scene we see them being unloaded. Here the horses leave the boats. We don't know exactly how many horses were shipped across the Channel, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. Interestingly, they're described as caballi rather than equos or equites. Originally, caballi was a term applied to workhorses, but developed over time to mean cavalry. It's been suggested these were a native breed from northern France, crossed with thoroughbreds in the 18th century and now extinct. Since caballo is the Spanish word for horse, it suggests to me that may have been the origin of many of the Norman horses. Spanish stallions were prized. A total of 190 horses appear in the Bayeux tapestry. Details of tack, noseband, browband, bit and reins, wooden saddles with a pommel at the front and a cantle at the back, and long stirrups are all shown. Different gaits are distinguishable, from walk and trot to canter. Whoever designed the Bayeux tapestry knew their horses. Horseshoes were in widespread use by the 11th century and are a common find on medieval sites. As part of his preparations for the Third Crusade, Richard I ordered 60,000 horseshoes from the smiths operating in the Forest of Dean. Research with finds of Norman horseshoes suggests their mounts at the Battle of Hastings were between 14.2 and 15 hands high, which broadly fits with the scale of the images on the Bayeux tapestry. Henry of Ferrers, a Norman baron believed to have fought at Hastings, who was granted extensive estates in England, including most of Derbyshire, was named from an area in Normandy centred on Ferrières-Saint-Hilaire, an important ironworking centre. Ferrières and Ferrers have the same root as farrier, and the de Ferrers' ancient coat of arms has 6 black horseshoes on a silver background. Henry of Ferrers served as comes stabuli, or Count of the Stable, to King William. When the Domesday Survey was conducted, some 20 years after the conquest, details of the number of horses were recorded for the counties of East Anglia, in what has become known as Little Domesday, and for the counties of South West England, compiled into Exon Domesday. There are only passing mentions of horses in Great Domesday and no numbers. In the limited information we do have from the survey, horses are classified by general type, either simply as horses or as rounces and as wild or forest mares. A rouncey is understood to be a versatile, all-purpose type of horse used for riding and as a pack animal, more affordable than the type simply described as horses. The survey contains several references to ironworkers without specifying exactly what they were producing. The entry for Hereford records 6 smiths in 1066 making 120 horseshoes, ferra, annually out of the king's iron. Early medieval horseshoes had a wavy, scalloped edge, possibly created when punching the nail holes. In the post-medieval period, horseshoes were forged with the nail holes recessed in a groove around the rim. The Normans honed their skills at the cavalry charge in lethal tournament melees. From the late 12th century, tournaments became more regulated, and in the 14th century, subject to chivalric ideals. Jousting and the types of horses and their uses in the later Middle Ages will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.